Yo, welcome back. Return of the Mac. M.A.C. Moss, Andrew, Carl back in the building. Episode 204.
Yeah.
With our man down. Moss and Andrew with you today. What's happening?
2/3 of the crew here.
2/3.
No.
We're going to give you a good podcast.
Somebody got kids to tend to and shit, responsibilities.
Just ridiculous, man. These little boogers. All due respect. Nah, Carl got stuff to do, though. Family man, we respect that. Yeah, we got plenty of topics, plenty of good stuff to talk about.
Damn right. I feel like a lot of shit happened this week.
It's so much.
A lot of shit.
This last week has been nuts.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I had mentioned on the pod, if not, I know I had mentioned to y'all that the family was going back to Guatemala on Friday this past week.
Okay.
So kind of planning to get a little weekend, catch up to myself, kind of get back to routine and everything.
Yeah.
Well, Tuesday night I go over there and they went to check on their tickets and flights were canceled. So long story shortened, when they came here, they paid for their baggage up front so that they didn't have to do it at the airport.
Yeah.
They got to the airport and they said they didn't pay for the bags, so they made them pay it again.
Oh, wow.
And they were short on time, so they're like, fine, we'll pay it and we'll get refunded afterwards. So they submitted an online refund, which they were told that that's what they had to do. And these motherfuckers decided to refund the ticket, but they only gave them the $30 baggage fee back and canceled these tickets without telling them.
Wow, that's trash.
Crazy.
That's trash.
So my brother-in-law was on the phone with them for like the next couple of days trying to get it resolved. They ended up doing nothing. So they had to book one-way flights back and they're staying for another 10 days.
Wow.
So
wow.
It was a wild week because it was a lot of like anxiety and stuff about trying to get it done. Is it going to work out? Are we kind of stuck here or whatever? But at this point, ends up being an extra week and a half. We get to hang out together. They got a place to stay. They don't have like, they're missionaries. So there's not like a business that they have to get back to or it runs into the ground. Right. So
like you got to get back to work or something. You lose your job.
Yeah.
Type shit. Yeah.
So kind of the best case, worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But because of that, just been continue with the busy week. Did some bowling. I'm a monster still.
Okay.
Just in case y'all didn't know.
All right.
Hit up Mellow Mushroom. Never been there before.
You never had
that shit
mushroom?
Was fire.
That shit is banging, bro.
Oh my God.
That's like, if not Domino's, I'm going to Mellow Mushroom.
Oh, that's a wild two options.
I mean, I know it's kind of crazy, but I fuck with Domino's. Like, it's pretty consistent to me.
I'm not a Domino's hater by any means. I'll eat just about any pizza.
Yeah.
But I was shocked at how good that was. Definitely worth a couple extra bucks. I ain't mad about that at all.
But that shit is banging every time.
You got to go to?
I keep it simple. I get some pepperoni sausage. Keep it real simple, you know what I'm saying? I don't try to do nothing too crazy. I'm not a fan of the big wild pizzas like cheeseburger pizzas and barbecue chicken. Like, I'm not a fan of that, really.
Barbecue chicken I'm cool with.
Okay.
And what I got when I went was buffalo chicken.
Okay.
And that shit was fire.
Yeah,
but I'm kind of with you. Outside of that, I'm sticking with pause. I'm just going with the
Philly cheese pizza is all right.
Full cheese?
It's all right. Philly cheese pizza.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty decent. Too. It's not bad, but...
The cheeseburger, though.
Sometimes they get a little too crazy with the
tacos.
Yeah.
I don't like the supreme pizza. I don't need all these
I want
veggies.
Pizza. I don't want a burger pizza.
That's right.
Taco pizza. Like, all right.
but that place is fire. So if you haven't been, listeners, check that out.
Well, yeah.
But that's it, man. That was most of my week.
Good shit. What did I do this week? Daughter's birthday. I officially have a 15-year-old. It's crazy.
Sheesh.
It's crazy to think about.
That is wild, son.
15-year-old going to sophomore year. And yeah, so, you know, got a lot of the things that she wanted. I got her this, one of our biggest gift that she really wanted, which I kind of played it. You know, you got to play it like we couldn't really find it. Might have to wait till Christmas. You know, we going on vacation. Like, so I threw all that in. So she had very low hopes that she was going to get this on her birthday.
The best way, by far.
Set it up real nice, surprised her. She wanted this new OLED Switch. Now, this shit is like buying the whole game system. But when we got it, and when she started hooking it up, I understand why.
Oh, yeah?
That shit is fire.
What is this? You got to put me on.
It's a Nintendo Switch, but it's like one of the better versions of the Nintendo Switch. It has detachable controllers that can turn into two controllers that you can play somebody with. It's a big ass screen, almost like tablet size screen.
What?
And you can put that shit on your TV, hook it up to your TV, and play it on your TV
No
like a
way.
regular system. I was like, oh, this shit fire. It's like a
that-
3-in-1.
That is a full system at that
Yeah, it's
point.
like a 3-in-1 right here. It's kind of worth the money. So that shit kind of fire. So of course she been on that shit every day, but she fuck with it.
I gotta stop talking to you, bro. I'm gonna end up with one of these myself.
Yeah, it's tight. Like it's just legit
want
tight. I
one
legit
now.
almost wanted one if I ain't just get her one. Like,
I want one now.
them shits is tight. I was like, yeah, this is kind of fire right here. I ain't gonna lie. I can see why you wanted this upgrade.
Hell
We got
yeah.
we got her a lower version, like I think last year or the year before, and she liked that. But she get to looking stuff up.
Oh yeah.
And they see the newer version. Hey, Dad, I kind of want this joint. It's kind of tight. I'm like, hey, you got it.
That's fire.
You got it.
That's fire.
So she got that. She was hype about that.
What kind of games does she play?
Heavy Zelda fan.
Okay. I'm familiar. I haven't really played it, but
She's heavy on the Zelda. She'll
that's
play a few other
crazy
games
because
real quick.
we had Zelda back on the Game Boy.
And still here. They're still
That's
putting out new Zelda
crazy.
games. So she owns it. She love that Zelda shit. That's probably our go-to number one right now.
Interesting.
I'm trying to think what other ones. She got Mario Kart. She had with Mario
Classic.
Kart heavy. So those are pretty the main
Oh,
ones she
it's
plays. I try to get her
Nintendo
to
Switch.
sport. She
That
sees me playing FIFA all the time. So she wanted the FIFA, but she don't really be playing it like that. She got it. Just, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
she wants like those adventurous type games or whatever. So
I feel
that's
that.
her thing.
That's fire.
So she on it.
That sounds like a hell of a gift.
Yeah.
I want to hear about the second gift.
Yeah, so added to the gifts, she was really hyped on going to see the Barbie movie. Well, I wasn't really looking forward to it, but hey, she wanted to go, so we went. Went
Right.
Sunday evening, check it out. You know, movies expensive as hell. That's just what movies is.
Crazy expensive.
But got in there, didn't have any high hopes. The movie wasn't that bad.
Really?
I'm gonna say like I loved it, like I would enjoy to see this again type
Yeah.
level, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. First of all, this shit is not a kid movie whatsoever.
That's what I've heard from everything I've read and
yeah,
stuff.
whatsoever. There's a lot of like sexual innuendos and little adult type jokes. I mean, like it was good for her. She 15. She kind of like understands the little basis of things. And she
Right.
got the jokes, but it won't like if you like a little kid, like 10 and younger. This movie is not for you.
Yeah.
It's not for you at all.
That makes sense.
I wouldn't say you should take your small child to this Barbie movie, but it was decent. You know, Ryan Gosling, you know, Margot Robbie, Will Ferrell, he was in there. He's pretty funny.
I forgot I saw. I feel like I saw a couple of comedians in little clips that I didn't realize they were in the movie.
Dude, I can't think of his name right now, but he was in Superbad, the main character, not the fat one, the skinny one. I can't even think of his real name. Right? It's like Seth or something like that. So,
Wait.
it's in Superbad. You seen Superbad, right?
Yeah.
The skinny one, the one that was called McLovin Aladdin. I can't think of his real
That's
name.
Michael
But
Cera.
he's in it too. Michael Cera. That's him.
Yeah.
He's in it too. He's pretty funny. So they got some little funny
That's random.
people
I
in
haven't
that
seen
joint
him in a minute.
that made it kind of like adult funny a little bit. So I enjoyed it. It was decent. So after, you know, the movie, I'm like, all right. So what you think? She said, yeah, it's the best movie I've ever seen in my
Oh
life.
my goodness.
I was like, because I like to do like her rankings and stuff. And she like, yo, that's the best movie I've ever seen.
That's crazy.
I'm like, yo, we won. We hit this shit out the park. We hit
Yeah,
this shit-
you crushed the birthday.
we hit this shit out the park. I can't even like be mad. And they're like, hey, we got everything she wanted. She was satisfied, enjoyed everything. Hey, success.
That's fire.
Success. I can't be mad.
Not your best movie ever made though.
No.
Okay.
Not my best movie. But it wasn't
funny.
like painful to watch. Like, oh man, I can't wait till this shit is over.
Yeah.
It was decent.
Well, that's solid. I mean, that's legit.
It was decent. It wasn't too bad.
I'm not that hard of a movie critic. Like I'm down. I feel like I can just put myself in the mindset of like I'm here to be entertained, and I'll just go along with whatever is going on in the
Right.
movie,
Right.
and can kind of get into it. So I feel like if I saw it, I wouldn't hate it, but I don't see any reason for me to ever see that movie.
Of course, yeah. If you don't have like an actual reason, somebody that really wants to see it, you take in or going with, I wouldn't recommend you go on some like, I got to go check this out.
Yeah.
Nah, but it wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad.
Good for you.
Makes sense. A lot of merchant. I can see them. They gonna put out some Barbies again. Barbies is coming back out because they was basically showing you every different type of Barbie we can make and I can see what they was doing. I was like, oh yeah, they about to get these shits off again. I see where this shit is going, but
It'll be a money pit.
yeah, big money grab on that. But you know, I heard it did pretty well and wasn't a bad movie. Not bad.
Well, that's good to hear. Good to hear. I'm having mic issues. Let's just keep going through it. Let's just keep going through it. I had said, anything else from the week?
I think that was it. Went out to eat after that. That was it. Not too crazy.
Solid birthday. Yeah. Solid birthday.
Worked out.
Well, while we're talking movies, I had told y'all last week that Moss and Carl had already watched They Cloned Tyrone.
They Cloned Tyrone.
I was going to watch it this week. I just did. Yep. Literally finished it just a couple minutes ago, so it's fresh on my mind.
Yep.
If you haven't seen it, of course, we're about to spoil the hell out of it, so skip ahead.
It's got to be enough time. Everybody talked about it. You heard different sneak, was it not teasers, but spoilers throughout the week if you watch podcasts and shit like that. So if you ain't watched it by now, hey, it is what it is.
I'll call that fair because I've watched it.
Yeah.
But this shit did just come out a week ago. Y'all were on it.
It did. It was like I said, I said last week, I was on my weekend, I was watching a bunch of shit. So I was looking through shit. Of course, that was one of the first things that pop up. So I watched it. But
I'm most curious in your take because I forget how you phrased it before we started recording, but you said something to the effect of you got a different opinion than everybody else.
Yeah, because it's
I'm
like,
all ears.
All right, how I was introduced to this movie, who made me go watch it. I seen somebody talking about it. I can't remember who it was, but they told me that this was like black exploitation mixed with like 70s styles actors and like modern day. So that's the framework I got.
Okay.
And they say it was like little deep things in it, whatever. I'm like, all right, cool. So I went into it. Our movie is 2 hours long. I was like, it's a pretty long movie. They could have cut the whole first hour out.
Holy shit.
The whole first hour of the movie was slow as shit. It didn't pick up to halfway through the movie. Like, it was points, and during the first hour, I kept looking at the time. I'm like, shit, we only 30 minutes in, ain't shit happened yet. I ain't understand that. I think they drugged that shit out in the beginning. Maybe, if you didn't understand what was going on, that make more sense. But I can't remember shit from the first hour of the movie. Like, I feel like they could have just cut that shit out and made it an hour-long movie and it would have been fine. So that's my only thing with that. But watching it, the second half is good. It's a good movie. I like it. I was locked in from that point once the action started to pick up. But like, as I was watching it, the shit that they was putting, because the basis was like saying they were trying to clone black people in the hood and had the stereotypical things they was using to put this white dust, cocaine-looking substance in chicken, perms, grape juice. And I was like, yo, this shit racist as a motherfucker. All these freaking... This shit kind of racist as hell, but I see what they was trying to do. So that kind of made me feel weird. I was like... And it wasn't like any surprises. Like, I can tell where this movie was going. Once I go back to this is an exploitation film, so it's like they the superheroes in this, and they gotta save the day. I get it. So you knew how I was going to end, so only no surprise. Like, oh shit, they got me with that. The only part that got me was when they decided to make the plan to go attack wherever they was at.
Oh, when he faked his death.
Yeah. That plan was really fucking good.
Yeah.
But I was expecting, because in the black exploitation thing, they're getting cloned. I'm thinking they gonna die like 10 times in a row before they figure this out. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you've seen that type of movie for like on some Freaky Friday type shit. Like, they just keep going through the day over and over again and getting killed. But the fact that they just devised the plan the first time and nailed that shit, I was like, all right, that's kind of tight. I like how they did that. But it was just a wild kind of movie. I think people made it a little deeper than what it was.
You think so?
Like, I get it, what they was trying to do, but at the same time, it's like, all right, dog, are we still going to use these, what's the word I'm looking for? The word just slipped my
like using
mind.
Things as a crutch?
Like stereotypical things about black people as to how we going to affect them and keep them the same and clone them. It's like, yo, we been told this same story a million times. So to use like the only thing they left out was like watermelon or something. Like, to use the most egregious things of stereotypical black people things that they like as to how they gonna get us. It's like, all right, dog, like, it's 2023. These aren't the only things black people like.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I get it. you made it simple, not too digestible, whatever. I'm like, all right, I've seen this before. But second half of the movie was pretty good. I can't be mad at it. I can't be mad at it too much.
Interesting takes. So, I mean, more of my takes from it are like, I don't want to sound like I'm some like real master cinematography kind of guy, but
yeah.
Like most of my takeaways are more like just about the making of the movie. I think they made it really well. Like I think it was the imagery or the visuals were really good. Like they shot it in a real specific way.
Yeah.
Like the wild over the top outfits that people are wearing and stuff I thought was cool.
Jamie Foxx was funny.
Jamie Foxx was hilarious the whole movie. Yeah. He of course takes that character over and just is a monster.
Yeah.
I thought the dialogue was really good. They did a really good job of like mixing in funny lines.
They did.
So that it was like consistently you just kind of smile or crack a little laugh or whatever. I've always kind of, I haven't like deep dived into a ton of blaxploitation movies, but I do like the genre. Like Tarantino is known for using blaxploitation type themes in his movies.
Okay.
So like I've always been, that's been something in Pulp Fiction. Jackie Brown obviously is like a straight blaxploitation version of a newer movie.
Yeah.
So I like the original Superfly. Shit like that is kind of dope. And then most of those, like kind of part of being considered that genre of blaxploitation is those stereotypes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a satire, tongue in cheek kind of thing. I get what you're saying, like in that it is the most overused tropes that everybody knows. Yeah. But it is kind of like intentionally done. Like, we know this shit is stupid.
It makes sense when you say it's like a black exploitation film.
Yeah.
Like, so all right, you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
So I get it.
So I really enjoyed all of that aspect of it. When I saw the trailer, I thought it looked fire right off rip. So I really enjoyed the movie. As far as messaging and stuff, I think it's intended to have a pretty strong, clear, I don't want to say clear message, but a pretty strong message, but also trying to be entertaining throughout the whole time.
Yeah.
Which I think it did. I know what you're saying about that first hour being slow, but I feel like, you know, when you watch any of the Jordan Peele movies, it kind of does the same thing where you're just like dropped into this world that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And that first 45 minutes to an hour, you're just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Like, I know we're not just following him around for the day to see what his day is like. Right. Clearly, there's something here that we need to be paying attention to.
It all made sense in the end.
But I enjoy that. Like, the first half of a movie being like, I have no clue what's going on.
Right.
I'm just sitting here the whole time like, oh, is that important? Is this going to come back? So I thought it was really dope, though. I enjoyed it.
They did a good job. They got another one though. Another black British actor, man. What's his name? John Boyega. Another British actor, bro.
I didn't realize he was a Brit too.
There's another one, bro. They got another one.
I don't know him from movies other than I think it was Star Trek or Star Wars. He was like one of the first lead black characters.
Okay.
So I knew his name, but do you know other big movies he's been in?
That's all I've heard that he's been in. It was those two things.
I'm sure he's been in other stuff, but he killed that role.
He did.
He was really good with it.
They got a freaking other one. This is crazy.
I thought it was kind of cool at the end too, when they showed it being like nationwide. That it wasn't just that town when they show him in like the LA version of himself.
Funny part about that, I was watching it with my girl and we got towards the end of the movie or whatever. And she was just like, so who was Tyrone? And then right after that was the part when they showed the dude in LA and he was like, yo, Tyrone, ain't that you, Tyrone? I was like, there you go, answered your question. She literally had just asked the question in that scene. That was the next scene that popped up. I was like, that's funny as hell.
And you had just told us that she doesn't really like movies where it's like big twists and you can't tell what's going on.
Yeah, a lot of anxiety. Probably, she don't really like that.
She probably hated that movie.
She hated, like, she was kind of feeling like me the first half. She kept on like, yo, I'm a son left of this. Like, what's going on? And then it picked up and she got into it like I did. So it got better as it went along. But
that first hour, did it kind of remind you of Atlanta, the show?
I can see that.
I just had kind of those vibes.
I can see that.
First, then just like the way it was shot, like the visual.
The way it was shot for sure, because it's like real dark.
Yeah.
Dark looking. Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
But then also kind of the ambiguity of who knows what the hell is going on, but I know they're going to hit us with a message at some point. That was how I used to watch Atlanta.
Yeah. That was good. But yeah, not bad. Not pretty good movie. Pretty good movie.
What will you give it out of 10?
Would I give it a 10?
Out of 10, what would you scale it?
Out of 10, I give it like a 7.5. I give it like
that's fair. I was going to say 7.5 or 8.
Yeah, I give about 7.5.
I do want to watch it again. Like I said, I got busy over the week and I was literally watching it the rest of my day here in between work and stuff. So I paid attention. Like I know what happens, but I would like to catch it again when I can just kind of relax and catch it. Oh, the other thing I had to mention.
What's up?
Great music.
Oh yeah.
Just fantastic music.
Music was fire for sure.
Hit you with the oldies, mixed in a few more modern tracks, but definitely hitting you with that 70s funk blaxploitation.
Yeah.
Respect.
They did it. On bad. What else we got?
There was something else you had mentioned watching. I can't remember what you said it was, but I think you were gonna
bring it up. Natalia Grace thing?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
I think I told y'all to watch that. I said something in the chat a few days ago. All right, this is doc on what I watched on HBO Max. Yeah, on Max. I checked that out. Okay, this is doc. It's basically about this little girl that this family adopted. Because they work with a lot of kids with special needs. So this little girl had special needs. She had dwarfism and had like some like a thing with her legs that they like grows awkwardly or something like that. So a small person, but they adopted her. It was told that this girl is 6 years old. And they adopted her and took her in the house. Apparently she got in the house and started wilding. Like the way they got her in the adoption agency was a bunch of red flags that they just said, oh, it'll be all right. And it's like, no, like y'all should do some more research on this situation before y'all just take this kid. But it's a wild story. Kids start wilding and they start like questioning if this girl is the age that they say she is.
Right.
Because things start popping up that give them thinking like, hold on, like, I know she's a dwarf, but she like has a fully grown adult face. And like, you know what I'm saying? I think one part was like they was giving her a bath and she had like a full pubic hair type thing. It's like, yo, they no 6-year-old supposed to be having all this. It was still like that. I was like, yo, that shit kind of wild. But
then red flags.
The doc is good because it like plays on both sides because the parents that adopted her, batshit crazy too. Like they on some crazy shit too.
Of course.
So of course you getting, I don't think the wife is in it, but the husband is in it, and they have like earlier dated him and like a more recent him, and he like got crazier and was like saying the opposite of what he was saying years before. I was like, yeah, you gotta check that shit out. The shit is wild, and it's just one of them docs is like, yo, this is some crazy shit going on. Like it's like 6 episodes. Every episode is like, yo, this shit gets crazier every episode.
What?
Yeah, it's wild. It's just wild shit going on to make you think. That. And it plays on like both sides. Like you don't know if you're on the little girl's side or if you're on the parent's side. Because both of them be telling lies. Yeah. Both sides lying about some like blatant lies. The fucking the husband, he a damn, I don't know if you bipolar, I don't know what you would call him, but he like played a role, like will breaking into tears to get a scene off, like he actor type shit.
Okay.
Like it's that type of level shit, but it's a good ass
deeply messed up.
Yeah, it's a good doc. Y'all should check that shit out because that shit is just crazy.
That sounds good.
That shit is crazy.
I'm interested in that. Natalie Grace, you said?
Natalie Grace.
I just looked it up so I remember.
Natalie Grace. That shit is wild.
I'm down for that 100%. That's my kind of style. 6 episodes too?
Yeah.
I like that.
Clean cut. In and out of there. But yeah, it's just a crazy show. Check that shit out.
I just saw, after I finished the movie, a preview started immediately afterwards for some Netflix series, How to Become a Cult Leader.
I did see that.
6 episodes. I think they're just going to tune in on different cult leaders for a half hour.
See how they did it.
Probably going to end up watching that all tonight.
Yeah. I'll check that out.
But
fuck with that type of shit.
We'll get back to that another day.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you watched?
Did I watch anything else? No, I've still been watching Hijack. New episode of that came out. Now I gotta watch week to week now because I'm all caught up. But the last episode of Hijack got crazy. Like the way they ended.
Yeah.
Huge cliffhanger.
Keeping you locked in.
Yeah.
Making sure you stay on it.
They got me. It's a good show. But that's about it.
That's what's up. I haven't watched anything else, so I got nothing else there.
Mm-hmm.
The other take of yours that I'm very interested in.
What we got?
Mr. Travis Scott.
Ooh,
new music. Lots of new music this week, but none bigger than Mr. Travis Scott.
Travis Scott.
Utopia, finally here.
Probably the biggest album of the year thus far.
Yeah.
Superstar Travis Scott, Utopia dropped. 19 records. When did it drop? Was it this Friday?
Yeah, it was this past Friday.
Past Friday.
So it's been out for 3 days.
I think I was up late that night. So when I first listened to it, I listened to it through my phone speaker, while laying down in the bed. Probably shouldn't listen to it that way because it sounded like, I said in the chat, just sounded like some bullshit. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is he doing? I got like 3 or 4 songs in there. I turned that shit off. Then double back the next day, put it on the speakers, listen to how you should listen to a Travis album because all the production and shit. And I was wrong. I was very wrong.
Oh yeah?
I think I was very wrong.
Full 180 on this?
Yeah. He went crazy. He went crazy.
Oh, that's funny.
Travis Scott, like, you know, like, I wish the word was here, but let me not word like to use all these adjectives: innovative, creative, changing the game, wordplay. Just Travis is like the apex of all of these adjectives.
Well, not the wordplay thing.
I mean, a little bit.
Yeah.
Travis was kind of getting in his rapping bag this album. It was a few songs on there. I'm like, oh shit, I ain't never heard Travis rap on some shit like this. Like, he was like giving it up a little bit. It was just like, all right, dog, like, there's a reason why I be on his ass when you ever bring that up about any old new guy that comes in. That to me sounds like they're doing the same thing everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
You got to leave those words to the top 1%, which is who Travis Scott is.
Right.
Like, he literally doesn't make anything that sounds like anybody else. Makes his own production. He has the best producers and engineers working on this shit. All the best A-list features you could think of coming together to make sure this is the most greatest album that could possibly come out. So you get this. And that's why people don't be mad when you wait 5 years for his next album to drop, because you know it's going to be fucking incredible.
Yeah.
They took their time on this and made sure it was incredible. So if it's not, then it's like, all right, what the fuck is going on? But there's a reason why Astroworld did what it did. And that was 5 years ago. And now this comes out and it is what it is again.
Are you seeing those early reported numbers?
Yes. It was like 275.
Of streams alone.
Just the streams, yeah.
Set 500.
Yeah, 250 with the bundles.
Yeah. 500 first week is what they're looking at, which was about the same as Astroworld.
Sound about right.
So it sounds like it's expected to be about that.
I wonder if that's updated, because it hasn't been a full week yet, of course. So they just like
it's projections.
Because I was saying, like, the way this shit lined up, he might go for the million a week or really close to it.
You think so?
That's with the bundles. If the bundles is giving you just as much sales and streams, you can do 5 and 5. I think it's possible to do 5 and 5, and that should go up to 1 million. But yeah, it's gonna go up.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to get there regardless. Sales was never going to be an issue, but well higher than I think what we were even expecting or suggesting or whatever. Mm-hmm. I told you I had to listen to about half of it. I think maybe 11 tracks or so of the 19. Mm-hmm. I don't have any real strong takes because, like I was telling you, like I was throwing it on to go drive across town. So I'd listen to 3 songs, go do what I had to do, and then 8 hours later catch another 3 songs. So I heard a little bit, but I haven't got to like really listen like that. A couple things I did notice is going back to the comments that Carl always has about different artists and stuff. Well, I think when you listen to Travis, you can actually tell like the importance to him that the music has. Yeah. Like he's putting in 2 beat switches on damn near every song, sometimes 3 and 4. Yo, there's one that got like 4 or 5. It's like it was mad 6-minute songs on this joint where the beat gonna change about 3 or 4 times. Yeah. I think, what song was that? Schizo. That's the one where I think he got Thug on it and somebody else. I'm forgetting. There was a lot of features on it. No. I'm thinking of Fiend. Schizo, it's like 4 different songs in one. And the last song
is where Travis decided to get in his I'm rapping, I'm about to give y'all crazy bars at the end.
Yep.
Like it was one of those type of like almost Conway and them, that type of beat that came on. I was like, oh shit. It just fucks you up. Like I was listening to it, and when every time the beat would change, I would look at my phone like, what's the name of this song? That shit tight. It was the same song.
Same joint.
Like, this is the same fucking song, but he had a few of them joints that was like that. I'm like, yo, this guy is crazy, yo.
Yeah,
he had
I
a
did
few
the
songs.
exact same thing a few times where I'd be like, yo, I like this song, and then it's still the same one 3 minutes in that I had already started.
I was like, yo, this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
This shit is crazy. Like,
but he's the type of dude that'll do all those switches in the same song. He'll feature some artists just to have their ad libs on.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I just envision him being like, I have a really set picture in my mind of what this needs to be. And if it means getting this famous rapper just to do some ad libs because it's going to make my song perfect. I don't know. There's like this pursuit of perfection that beyond the, the comparisons that he gets to Kanye in the sound.
Yeah.
I think that's the same. Like I would imagine Travis is sitting there 20 minutes before the shit's about to be uploaded to all the streams and like, you think we should take this one off? I'm sure he's just tinkering and shit. That's just what I picture.
Definitely can get that.
But the production quality is crazy. The names he puts on there is crazy. What I heard was cool. I didn't have... I think I'm going to like it. The other thing I noticed in that first half of the album, at least, a lot of those songs had like a really long, slow build to them, where the first beat is really chill, and then he gets it to come in with the second beat, and it just goes crazy.
It's just like a movie.
It's
he
hard
did put out a movie with it.
Yeah,
he has a whole movie.
I heard about that. What is that?
It's I haven't seen it, so I don't know what the movie is about. But apparently, you could play this whole album through the whole movie and it makes sense. So that's why the songs sound like a movie score almost.
Thematic and shit. Yeah.
It kind of makes sense. So
that's interesting. I had heard something about a movie, but I didn't hear anything after that.
I want to check that shit out, but that sounds crazy. Like you say, on some Kanye shit, Kanye level shit, which is funny. I see a lot of people saying that this is his Yeezus. I thought that was funny. I was like, y'all do realize Travis Scott produced most of Yeezus. Yeah. Like that was his sound on Yeezus. So it's like, no, this is not his Yeezus. This is just Travis Scott. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I thought that's funny. People were saying, like, y'all do realize he did a lot on that Yeezus album. That's why it sounded like that. Yeah. So that's why it sounds the same shit that he's doing. Not exactly the same, but you can hear little samples and shit that he would use and throw in there that sounded like some Yeezus album shit. I was like, yeah, that's Travis production. He's doing what he does. I can hear the Yeezus. There was a few songs that I thought like sounded like it came straight off of 808s. I don't remember what song it was, but there was one in particular that I'm like, yo, this sounds so much like 808s and Heartbreaks. Yeah. At least for half of the song. Yeah. I read, it might have been Pitchfork. I read some review that did kind of like a pretty in-depth breakdown, and they had a lot of stuff to say about the album being kind of like his attempt to recreate a lot of the Kanye stuff, as far as having some sounds that were similar to Yeezus, that 808 sound, having like the masterful movie type production like my Dark, Beautiful, Twisted Fantasy did. Yeah. But the article was kind of rough, and it pointed out something that as soon as I read it, it made perfect sense. I think the reason that he's like an artist I like but don't love is because he puts so much effort into the sound and like the presentation of the music. Yeah. But he doesn't have shit to say neither. Yeah. Like he's not telling you anything about himself, anything that like real life shit. It's like, I'm here to rage and vibe out and say like talk fly shit. There's nothing wrong with that. It's more of an experience. Yeah, it's more. It's just the entertainment. Like you're not gonna get any kind of introspection or anything like that, which I kind of like. Was that's why I know like a lot of. Well, I don't know if a lot of people are doing this, but not like showing the features on the track list. Yeah, like Travis and maybe Cole or somebody like that. I like. Some of the very few, and maybe you could throw Kanye in there, are very few people that I like trust that shit to. Cause I get the play on it. Like you don't want people to skip to songs with certain features of people that they like. You want people to listen to the shit all the way through. And it's like, it's something kind of nostalgic about just getting the surprise. Like you don't know what's coming, and then here come Future, or here come SZA, here come Beyonce singing the hook. It's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And you just oh shitting throughout the whole album, man. Yeah. And that shit is like a nostalgic thing that you don't get anymore with the way music comes out. Yeah. It's always like, here you go, here it is, here's the feature you was looking for. It's like all right. You giving it to us so easily that you're not making us work or listen to figure out or hear or be surprised by anything. And that shit is dope. And Travis knocks that shit out the park every time to me.
I'm with you on that. It makes the first listen more fun because it's like you're discovering shit that you didn't know about pre-putting the song on. Yeah. But I will say after that first listen,
we were going to find them.
It's a pain. Yeah, it's a pain to like go back because you listen to an album, it's like, I know I like that joint with Thug on it, and then the one right after it was fire. Yeah. And then I'm like, yo, what the fuck song was that? I don't even know what song is what yet.
What you saying that's like his kind of way, how I look at it. It's his kind of way of training your mind to remember the name of the song.
That's a good point.
Instead of like, because like you said, most time when you see the feature, play that joint with Drake on it, or play that joint with Future on it.
That's a really
Instead
good
of doing
point.
that, you'd be like, no, play Schizo. I know that's the joint with Future on it.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Like, so you can actually remember the name, because I'm terrible with song names and album names these days. Yeah. I just want to go to it. If I like it, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. But if you do it like this and you enjoy the album and you enjoy certain songs, you're going to remember, that joint was called My Eyes, or that joint was called Sirens. And it's like, it'll make you remember the names. So you can go look up that song that you like, and it just changes your way of thinking about the song.
I've never thought about that.
I'm gonna go to that joint. He got Future on.
No, you're 100% right. That's fire. So I've never thought about that.
Yeah, it changes your whole like, oh shit, I gotta actually remember the name of the song now.
All right, I'm with that. That's fair enough. It might be a little bit annoying at first, but if you do just start to do that more frequently, it just becomes
that's only
natural.
if you enjoy it, of course. If you enjoy it, it's whatever. But
if you hate it,
if you really love if you really love the album, you can be like, I gotta remember this song somehow, so you gotta remember the name now.
Yep, that's fair enough. Well, I'm excited to keep listening. I'm gonna check it out some more this week. See where it goes from there. I've still been listening to Nas. Still is the one album from this year that I've really continued to listen to after it first dropped. But yeah, fire. Anything else on Travis?
Did I have something else? Oh, well, I guess we got to get into the Drake feature. Meltdown. Is the song. Had Drake on there. Was somebody else on there? I don't think nobody else is on it.
I don't think so.
Boy Wonder helped produce. No, it was just Drake.
Quick comment about Drake's verse without getting into the contents. All I could think about while he was rapping is that this was his attempt to be spooky. The way he was rapping on that shit was like his attempt to be spooky, like Push.
He tried to spooky him back.
Yeah, he tried to hit him with the whisper.
Scared of the six. No, we not.
It sounds kind of cool. I'll be honest. If somebody else did it, I think he executed it well.
He did.
It's just my opinion of Drake. I just can't marry the two.
I ain't never think of it like that. He was trying to be spooky. That's funny.
That was his spooky flow.
It was a spooky flow.
But I just don't think of Drake, and I don't respect Drake in that manner. That I just thought it made me chuckle.
I think it's dope that Drake been around so long, he can still find a new way to rap. He just found he unpacked another new flow that he can do now to all his other flows that he has. It's like, true. That's kind of crazy. Like you 15 years in, you still finding new ways to rap. It's kind of dope.
I can't argue with that.
With that being said, I'm from Virginia.
Hey, I'm kinda.
Yeah, you kind of Virginia, Jay. You've been here long enough. I don't respect him coming out of Virginia legend like that.
Why is Pharrell involved in this? And also, can you explain to me what was Pharrell directed? Because I don't know about that.
Okay, I think last year? Yeah, when 21 and him dropped the album, had a song on there called I can't think of the damn song right now. The joint with
Johnny.
Not Johnny, it was the joint off the album. I gotta find the song because I actually fuck with that song. It's one of my favorite joints on there.
The dance album?
Not Back Outside, boy. Which joint was it? Jumbotron Shit Poppin'.
Okay.
That joint where I say he was sounding like Thug when he was rapping on there.
Yeah.
That shit was tight. He put out a video to that, and in the video he had all of Pharrell's chains, his old Star Trek chains, because Pharrell auctioned them off and he bought all them shits. And he wore them in that video. People thought it was weird. I was like, why are you buying Pharrell chain? He was like flossing them, putting them on couches. When I seen that, I was like, oh, he gonna try to use this as a shot. Because that's the only thing that makes sense. For you know how Pharrell's connected to Push, he gonna use this to try to take a shot. And it was a long play. Because he had to wait till this verse came out on this album for us to see him take that shot. And he basically said in the verse that ball your boss's shit, and I melted it down. And so basically, I guess he apparently melted all the chains down and made some other shit with it. And he said another shot that, because you know, Pharrell is the executive creator of Louis Vuitton now, replacing what Virgil was.
I did hear that, I think.
He said a line that, you know, now that V is gone, that we ain't wearing that shit no more, type shit. Taking a shot at him being there. It was kind of like.
So what's the Push shot? I thought the Push shot was.
The Push shot after that was him saying that you lucky that I think Vibe was suing him for that cover him and 21 did. He's like, I would have been at that Paris fashion show or something too, and you wouldn't be you right there with your song playing. Would have been. He took a shot like that on some like only reason you there is because I had this lawsuit with Vibe right now, so I couldn't be at that. So that was like his shot at them.
They gave you a chance because I wasn't.
Yeah,
there.
it was on some shit like that. I'm like, all right, we know Drake is Mr. Petty. I don't understand what Pharrell got to do with your shots. I understand you still being petty at Push. I know that ain't going to really stop. You going to get them bars off. What Pharrell do?
I'm just going to, with no information, say, to me, this is Pharrell wouldn't give him a beat.
Probably.
There's no reason. Like,
probably.
I understand if you got problems with Push, you know, taking shots at people close to him is like a way to try to get at him. But I see those shots more like, you know, the fiance shots or something, not like Pharrell, because he is also in the game and highly respected at what y'all do. Yeah. So to me, that's Pharrell wouldn't do music with him.
They haven't ever did a song. He's never did a song with Pharrell Neptune. Never got a beat from him. He has rapped on a Pharrell beat, and that was that Brent Faiyaz song, Waste Your Time with Me or something like that. That's the only Neptune's or Pharrell beat that he's ever rapped on, which was hard. He kind of bodied that shit too.
I'm sure he did.
But it was like, that's kind of odd, but of course you can see if I ain't fucking with Push, I'm definitely not going to be fucking with you.
Right. I could see where Pharrell drew a line in the sand, took Push aside, and now it's just getting ricochets.
So I was like, don't be shooting at ledges, bro. Pharrell ain't do nothing to you. Pharrell ain't do nothing to you. I know when you was dissing Push, you had to take all your shots at Kanye because y'all had beef. But Pharrell ain't got no beef with you. I mean, they might, maybe some shit behind the scenes, but as far as us as consumers, I've never seen Pharrell do anything towards you.
Never seen Pharrell do anything to anybody.
That too. Like he's never been a part of any beef. He made happy. He made happy. Like who's gonna be mad at fucking Pharrell?
Not the song. He made the verb.
Yeah. He made the emotion happy. The only reason we are happy now is because of Pharrell. It's like, so why are you doing that to him? But hey, here's what it is. Nice little shots. I get it. I like the flow.
Well, I'm just happy to be educated on what the shots were. I knew the lines that were being talked about and didn't really connect the dots. I wasn't understanding how they played out. But okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Rapper shit. Yeah. That's all it is. Nothing really personal. Just some rapper shit. Oh, I'm going to take a shot at this. I bought your boss's chains.
We ain't wearing your brand no more.
Man, all right. We get it. You mad. You don't want to hold that L. That's all it really comes down to. Like,
he's not mad. He's upset.
He's upset. That's a good one. He's definitely upset. But hey, dog, let that shit go, bro. But I mean, I ain't mad at it. I ain't like the shots of Pharrell, but the beef with you and Push is going to be for everything, obviously. Yeah. That's never going to stop. So
it is what it is.
It is, yeah.
Don't expect that to go anywhere.
Oh, there's another line, too, I forgot about. It was something about Push's bodyguard. I forgot how the line went, but basically saying, like, I think his bodyguard, like, stabbed one of Drake's affiliates at some event or something, or some shit like that. He's like, took a shot at that, like, they weren't even nothing. You let your bodyguard, it was on some shit like, all right, so you was expecting Pusha to go stab somebody? Like, what are we talking about right now?
The amount of bars that have been directed at Push is so minimal.
It's so
compared to everybody around Push that he's tried to go at?
It's so bad.
I mean, to me, that says you don't really have shit. I'm just trying to ruffle your feathers going to people you care about.
I don't even feel like it's even nothing to be had. Like, Push don't do nothing.
No.
He don't do nothing that you can clown him on. Like, besides saying, oh, you ain't really sell drugs. Like, all right. Like, it's nothing that you can... Drake has so much shit you can clown him on.
Yeah.
He's so much shit. So it's like, dog, yeah, you have to take shots at Pharrell or at his bodyguard or because he's at a fashion show and you ain't. All right, dog.
I just think it's weird. If you got problems with Push and you want to mention them every album for the rest of your life, not my style, but I get it.
Yeah.
But mention Push.
Yeah.
Just quit going for all the people he knows.
Hey, that Clips album coming.
I can't wait.
And I know Push and Malice are locked and loaded. Because they ain't forget about Jim, and we damn sure ain't forget about Drake. With all these petty lines that we throwing out there, I know, Push don't hold no punches, so I'd be very aware of when that drops and the shit that he's going to say on that album.
What do you think about Joe Budden saying Push lost the beef, he didn't respond?
It's fair to say. I guess you could say that, but I don't think it's over. I just think Push is kind of doing what Drake was trying to do to Push to Jim Jones on some like
just ignore him.
Not even ignore him. Like, I'll deal with you on my time, not on yours. Type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know the level I'm at. I know the level you at. This gives you way more shine than it gives me.
Yeah.
You the one that was talking shit about me as to why I said what I said. So it's just like, dog, yeah, I'm gonna make you wait on that till when we drop an album to hear it. I think he's playing that way. It's on some shit like, it's not over. Like, yeah, he responded and didn't say nothing yet. He didn't even put that song out that leaked. That song isn't even out yet. So that just tells me, no, y'all gonna wait until this Clips album is finished and then y'all get all that.
Yeah.
That's what that tells me.
Nah, I think the same thing. Yeah. Push don't make music, son.
Yeah.
He's not the guy that's sitting in the studio every day making music and, oh, they said something, we got to go ahead and put this one out.
Yeah.
We don't hear from Push for years, and then you'll randomly see him on a feature of some artist that you've never even heard of.
Yeah.
He's not like actively out here, so I agree. Whenever he puts out new music, I'm sure these people will get mentioned, but it could be 2 years from now.
Yeah, when he locks in, he locks in.
I do think it's fair. That's how we judge rap beefs, though, is in the moment.
Yeah.
So if he hasn't responded, I can understand why somebody would say he lost and chalk it up.
I think that that has been more heightened now that we're in this like microwave era. And I think that might have started with like the Drake and Meek shit. Cause it was so fast.
Yeah.
So that like made it like the standard. Like, you got 24 hours when somebody taking shots. And it's like, dog, like, when we watched beef going up, you had to wait months before you actually heard a response. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when Jay-Z and Nas is beefing, you had to wait till they was dropping a new album to hear their diss back.
That was the case?
Yeah, like,
I couldn't even remember it, to be honest.
Like, I think the closest thing you can get to that is they will go to a radio station and freestyle and take their shots and such like that. But you won't get no song, no diss track.
It would just randomly be a day where 50 and M are taking Ja Rule shots suddenly on a Thursday.
At the radio station, just randomly. Like, that's the only way you would get that. But now it's like 24 hours. Like, dog, you don't know what people doing. Like, you don't know what people doing. And to be honest with you, like, if you're not, I would rather wait for you to actually put some fire shit together to diss back than trying to respond as fast as you can just to have a response since they talking about you on the internet right now. You know what I'm saying? It just seems like, I don't know. Whatever.
I'll be honest with you. I think if you're like a mainstream artist, those are just the rules now, and you got to play by them.
Well,
I don't think of Push as a mainstream artist, so I don't really hold him to that same regard. I would have the same opinion on if there was some shit with Black Thought and somebody else.
Right.
It's another person I don't think is just in the booth every day making music, or I don't have any other names, or great names off the top, but.
And it's real attention seeking. Like, you got to respond. 'Cause, you know, you're not responding. Because at that point, you're not responding to the dude that dish you. You're responding to the time clock that the internet has put you on now.
The people saying you
so
gotta hurry
eager
up
to hear what you got to say back.
Yeah.
That's what you're responding to. So it's like,
true.
no, take your time. And I know Push is going to get every single detailed point that he needs to put together, and it's going to sound phenomenal.
Summer.
And it's going to be extra spooky.
Surgical summer.
Next level spooky. So it's like, yeah, I'll wait on that.
Yeah.
I know he ain't going to let me down.
No doubt.
But, you know, it's fun.
Did you listen to any of the other new music this week?
Did I? Not really.
Yeah.
I think I may have checked out a couple singles, but I was really locked in on that Travis album for the most part. And what else did I listen to? I like that Yo Gotti single. It's pretty dope. No Fake Love. I like that Offset and Cardi B song.
I didn't hear it. I saw it had come out or whatever, but I didn't listen to it.
That shit is hard. Like they kind of snapped on that, like both of them. Like,
were they like addressing recent shit that's been going on? I felt. What was the name of the song? Really. I got the vibe that
it's called Jealousy.
Yeah, and weren't they both just
having a little spat? He was trying to say that she had cheated on him or something like that. Yeah, they did have that. So they was kind of addressing that, but not really.
Gotcha.
You could tell the song was like themed off of some shit like that, but they was on some like, yo, mind your business. Why you worry about my relationship? They were saying shit like that. Gotcha. They don't really giving no details of what happened, but they still together. So
yeah,
couples fight.
Right.
That don't mean it's over. Y'all just people just take shit that happens on the internet like it's really affected them in real life. Like they was probably good while y'all was talking about it. Like, probably right there in bed laughing at y'all.
Just think about that NLE single.
Oh God. Oh God. All right.
I couldn't let that one go.
Can we pause real quick? Because I want to play something. I want to get that set up.
Of course.
This is just...
We will be right back.
Yes.
What you got for us, Moss?
All right. Since you brought up that NLE Choppa song, which I'm sure people have seen it, of him making his own interpolation of Hot in Here.
Shout out to Nelly.
This is a dude from Baltimore, dude named the Kid Gooey. I don't know if y'all know him, if y'all heard his name before. He makes little funny videos on here, but this is like a reel that he made the other day of new music in 2023.
Bigger, pretty face in a real nice. Crazy. He like that moving. Now I'm moving. I'm an icy girl in an icy world.
Barbie song.
It's my body, get my ass got.
Are we back in the late 90s, early 2000s?
That's hilarious.
What is going on?
I've never even heard of a bunch of those.
All those are new songs that came out this year.
Hilarious.
All songs from the early 2000s, late 90s. All right. We had talked about this mad times before. The laziness of the sampling going on, and it's getting egregious. Like, all right, I get it. It worked for a few people. People had some hits to come off of it. But when you doing like NLE Choppa did, and just make a cover of Hot in Here. That's all it is. It's a cover song. You're saying the same look,
crazy.
The same ad libs, trying to put the same country accent, St. Louis accent that you don't have.
Dress the same way.
It's like
shoot the video.
Y'all ain't even trying. This is worse than people recreating Lion King and all these other movies that we've seen. It's like, yo, do some new shit. Make your own shit. Like that shit is disgusting, bro. It's disgusting. And it's lazy as hell.
It's so lazy.
It's lazy.
It was so bad. I like a good handful of NLE Choppa songs, and I heard he was doing a Nelly, whatever you want to call it. I was like, oh, dope. You know, Nelly don't get a lot of love.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited to hear it. As soon as it came out, I listened to it. I was like, that song is terrible. Straight copy of the beat, straight copy of the hook, just like you said. I mean, he did not do anything.
Nobody's trying, yeah. Nobody's trying.
That was crazy.
They just think they can, just do this again.
Well, they do, and they're right.
So a lot of them are right.
This is a quick headline read, but I saw that this is going off on TikTok.
I can see it.
So if they get rewarded, they're going to keep doing this shit.
Keep doing it.
And sounds like we're in line for a lot more 90s hip hop.
As fans of music, we have to stop supporting this shit.
Yes.
Because it's not, like you said, it's not going to stop. As long as they see the numbers going up, this shit is working in their eyes. But it's lazy, yo. We can't keep saying this is the new generation of rap and they doing new things and have their own shit. No, they just taking from what we grew up off of and putting it out to people that never heard it before and saying, oh, this is this. It's like, nah, dog, nah. that ain't gonna cut it no more.
It was sad.
Not
bro.
for me. That's
it was sad.
That's sick.
I was so disappointed when I heard that song. Just the awful.
I can't believe that shit. I said, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah. Yeah, we had to call that out. I had to call that out and let you guys know if you haven't heard it, don't listen to it. We got to boycott that song.
We got to, we got to stop it, Make somebody go in the studio and make a new song. Like, we can't keep doing this shit.
Amen.
But, hey, people going to do what they do. What can you say? What can you say?
I told you I got to listen. I haven't listened to any Post Malone. I'm going to check that out. Got to listen to my guy. Mm-hmm. Don't know what to expect, really. I heard that this was a more introspective album, a little bit less radio friendly. But then I also heard that it was still a lot of pop. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect, but I got to check it out.
So I didn't even know this album had dropped, right? Thought it was odd that he would drop on the Travis Scott.
I did too.
But I was listening to the JBP. And it was brought to my attention.
Tainted source.
You can say it's tainted. No. Actually, Joe was on Post side of this. Like, he fuck with Post. Like, he loved his album. He was giving it raving about him. But I'm on some shit like, all right, you already know I've had my issues with Post.
I do.
Not about his music. He puts out fire. We know that. I can't hate on his music. But just on the bouncing in and out of saying you hip hop or I'm not a hip hop artist, I make whatever country music or whatever. So I didn't know the album dropped, but I had only checked rap and R&B categories. This album is categorized as a pop album. It's in the pop section. At least it is on mine. I don't know if it is on our album. But it wasn't on the hip hop or R&B. It was on the pop genre of music. I was like, oh, this is why I see this come out. He didn't finally went ahead and converted. He didn't went ahead and made his shift. So of course you ain't worried about a Travis Scott album. My album ain't even gonna be over there with Travis Scott's. My album gonna be over in the pop section to be the top selling pop album of the week. You know what I'm saying? It's a smart move that makes more sense as to why he would drop the same day as Travis, because he ain't even competing with Travis. He in a whole other genre now. So I thought it was quite odd, it's kind of odd. It's like, it's kind of what I've been speaking to. Oh yeah, now he didn't use all he could use up out of rap. Now I'm just full-blown pop with it now. Go ahead and move my shit to this genre. So I ain't got to compete with these rappers no more. I just thought that was odd. I ain't got no beef with it. Do what you do. But from where I sit, it looks kind of odd to me.
It's not in hip-hop on Apple as well. I could confirm that too. I'm not going to argue with you. I will continue to restate my thoughts on that same subject. I think that it's anger or whatever the emotion you want to call it. It's misdirected towards Post Malone and comes from the other hip hop artists not being able to do it also. So it's like this is not fair. He can do that. Nobody else can. But I don't think what he's doing is anything wrong with it. We have the discussions when other hip hop artists put out music and we say that it is of a different genre. It's not even rap or not even hip hop, but they still get put into the hip hop category.
And that's what's wrong.
But the argument is always that they shouldn't be there. They should be in the category of music that they're making. Right. Which is what Post is doing. So the frustration is in that he is getting to do it the way that we think it should be done and other people are not. So I think that's misdirected emotion towards him. But the sentiment is the same. I understand what you're saying.
I can see why you could say it's misdirected, just in the vein of that, what you just spoke of.
If we think Uzi should be in the rock category, it should be like, why isn't Uzi in the rock category, not why is Post getting to be in the pop category?
But the reason why it's more directed at Post to me is because every chance he gets, he denounces hip hop. And it's like, you can't denounce the reason why we love you now, or the reason why you here, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? That's where it comes. It's like, don't not give credit or say that you a part of the hip hop, or when all your hit singles got rappers on it. It's like, dog, like, that just seems odd to me. Now you full-blown pop, no rappers whatsoever on the album, and you made your turn. That's my issue with it more so. Of course, the issue of like when rappers go outside of hip-hop and make different genres of music, they still put them in a rap category. That's fucked up. But at the same time, like, So ain't nobody gonna say nothing about him doing it and just dismissing hip hop altogether. Don't like it. But from what I hear, he's a great guy. So I don't think nobody gonna say nothing bad about him. So,
Fair enough.
when you're a great guy, you don't give you a pass. Hey, I'll fuck with Paul. He's a good guy.
Like I said, I know that's your stance. It is what it is. We don't have to agree on it. I think when he's made comments about not being a hip hop artist, or when you say denouncing hip hop, I think he's done things similar to every artist that doesn't want to be put into a box. And the conversation is about, you're a rapper, and he says, I'm not a rapper. I like country music. And it's an attempt to not be boxed in. But either way, I understand the frustration in that. Why would one artist be treated one way, other artists not treated the same way? But interested to check out the album. I'll report something back next week. The one other album I did listen to is my guy, the Mexican OT. I don't know if y'all are familiar with him or not. Kind of blew up off of, I don't know if it was TikTok Reels, Instagram Reels. I don't know where it came from, but he had a song, Johnny Dang, that kind of went off. And this was his first project since. Yeah. I think he sounds like a Mexican Kevin Gates, the way he raps, like his flow and stuff like that. Certainly a Houston influence. And then as I listened through the album, he's like 90% in English, but he throws in a little Spanish to make things rhyme and on hooks and stuff like that. I always appreciate the Spanish-English combo that some artists can pull off. But he's dope. Check him out.
Hell yeah. Good shit.
Anything else music related? That was everything I had.
I think that's all I got that I could think of right now.
Oh, the one last thing we didn't talk about, and I didn't listen to the song. I don't know if you did.
What you got?
But Gucci putting out a single called Wappenheimer. Yeah, is one of the greatest things I've seen this year. That guy always does some creative, funny titles, but that one that might be my favorite. Yeah, Wappenheimer is hilarious.
The movie just came out. It all makes sense.
Did you hear the song?
I did. It's
Was
hard.
it any good? Okay,
it's hard. It's a hard record.
Yeah, I got to check it out. I added it to the list, but I just wanted to shout out the creative Wappenheimer himself.
Yeah, the man of many aliases.
many aliases.
But, he does it right. He does it right. Shout out to Gucci.
Good week of music, though. Lots of sports stuff going on. Some quick hitters. I don't know how much in-depth conversation we got on some of these, but lots of stuff going on. What do you want to start with?
Oh, shit.
What happened?
Fucking,
breaking news.
You know Angus Cloud?
Nope.
You ever watch, you ain't
Beef.
never watch, what's that, HBO show? Euphoria. You ain't never watched Euphoria.
He's the boxer, though?
He's the white dude that was like the drug dealer in the show. Apparently he just died.
What?
25 years old.
I'm pretty sure that's the dude. He just signed to somebody to be a boxer. Somebody from that show. I thought it was Angus. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, that says last week he buried his dad and intensely struggled with his loss. The only comfort we have is knowing Angus is never reunited. So I'm guessing they might be some suicidal type thing.
Sounds that way.
On. That's crazy.
Well, that sucks. R.I.P. to Angus, whatever you said his last name.
Cloud.
Angus Cloud.
Damn, that's kind of crazy. That's
tough.
25 years old.
Sheesh.
That's nuts.
The highest point of his life. Yeah. From a career standpoint.
Yeah, this shit was going fire. He was setting off. That's crazy. Tough. Damn. Motherfuckers dying too young out here these days, man.
Yeah. All right, well, a quick pick-me-up.
Yeah, what we got?
Quick pick-me-up story. Now I just went blank on his name. Good thing I wrote it down.
Who's that?
Chris Henry.
Chris
Henry Jr., the son of the deceased NFL star.
Yeah.
Bengals wide receiver, died a while back with the Ocho Cinco teams and stuff. Mm-hmm. Pac-Man adopted his son.
Pac-Man adopted his kids into his own home. It was basically been their dad since he passed away.
Shout out to Pac-Man Jones. Adopted Chris Jones? Why there's too many names, too many similar names. Chris Henry, yeah. Chris Henry Jr. has just accepted an offer to play wide receiver at Ohio State. Clearly, he got daddy's talents. Just a cool story, man, to hear about somebody lose their life unexpectedly. Teammate takes in their kids, and they're still able to pursue the NFL dream, it seems.
Yeah. Shout out to Pac-Man. That's some solid shit to do.
Really solid.
I'm sure it's easy for a kid to go off in the wrong path after your pops dies.
Yeah.
So
100%.
to bring him under his wing and basically obviously raise him right. And now he's going to a big D1 school because he obviously got the talent. But, that's dope. Good story. Good story.
Cool to see him doing well.
Oh, yeah.
What other football, basketball, whichever one you want to go with?
We see this a lot in the NBA. I don't think we see it that much in the NFL. We've seen some people hold out from going to training camps and shit like that, but a trade request happened this week.
It did.
From one of the best running backs in the league, Jonathan Taylor, with the Colts.
Have you heard much about this story?
The story is wild.
Bruh.
Yo, what's up with
insane?
What's up with Herse, yo?
Herse's retarded.
Yo, what's up with
Because let's just say, we'll backtrack in a second, but let's just say, for example, Herse is 100% in the right in this situation.
Yeah.
Let's just say that's the case.
That's good.
He still is doing a hell of a job of turning away anybody from wanting to sign their free agency just because of the way he's being public and going about this whole situation. But let's backtrack and cover the situation. You might have to help me a little bit on the timeline.
Where we at?
So I believe what I read was that Jonathan Taylor has a back injury.
Okay.
That the Colts are saying happened outside of the football field.
Mm-hmm.
So they're putting him on their non-football injury list. And from what I read, if he's on that list for a certain amount of weeks and missed a certain amount of games, he doesn't get paid by the team at all for those.
No money.
And then he also will not be credited for a season towards his rookie contract.
Yep.
So pretty big implications.
He requests a trade and then they say, oh, well, you ain't about to get shit and this ain't gonna count in your contract.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So do you know which came first?
The trade request came first. And then the team put out that back thing as the reason.
As their reasoning.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jonathan Taylor responded to that, said, never had a back injury, back pain, never reported back pain. Not sure who sources are, but find new ones. So he basically denounced that whole back shit.
I did see that.
Basically said they're using that as the reason as to why they ain't gonna give him no money.
And this is the part that I don't know the timeline on this part either, but did you see this quote from Herse?
I seen one of them.
Yeah, it's got to be the same one.
The if I die tonight thing?
He said, if I die tonight and Jonathan Taylor is out of the league, no one's going to miss us. The league goes on. It doesn't matter who comes and who goes. We've had this conversation about...
It's a factual statement.
Right.
It's true.
No, maybe it was a Le'Veon thing when we had this conversation, but we've had this conversation acknowledge that what he said is correct.
Yes.
Jonathan Taylor holds out and refuses to play for the Colts. His name will be forgotten and they'll fill his place. Same thing with Jim Irsay.
Yeah.
But to put this out as a quote,
it's crazy for an owner to say this
just
about one's
nuts, bro. There's nobody's going to want to play for him. And he's already got a history of making dumb comments and saying stuff.
Was it him that said the shit? We can't let the inmates run to jail.
That was the Texans on
Texas call, yeah. But it's just like saying some shit like that. Like it's some shit you just shouldn't say.
He got the DUI and said something stupid afterwards. Yeah. He had the Jeff Saturday thing where he hires him, and then as soon as they win week 1, he's popping off, and they lose every game the rest of the year.
Wild call right there.
He runs his mouth too much.
He wildin'. But
Jonathan Taylor's in a shitty spot.
He's in a super shitty spot. I don't see him ever playing for the Colts again. I don't see him ever stepping on the field for the Colts again.
Do you think he plays ever again then? Because I think Irsay is a guy that will say, fuck you, I'll eat this and not let you play anywhere.
Yeah, that
that's
what
strikes
makes
me
it
as
sticky.
him.
Like, that's just crazy, yo. Like, I understand this shit is going on with the running backs right now, and it's only going to get worse. But it's just like, all right, yo, like, when you're doing this to the top guys, like, he's a top 3 running back in the league right now.
Yeah.
Back-to-back Pro Bowl years and 3 out of 3 years and been in the league.
He's the leading rusher in the league 2 years ago, I believe.
It's like, what more can you do? It's like, because on the business side, it doesn't make sense for somebody to give you a whole bunch of money to a running back right now, business-wise. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's like a lot of these teams or organizations try to build their shit off loyalty or like being loyal to the squad and da-da-da-da. But it's like, when you see how the best of the best are getting treated, it ain't no loyalty. Ain't no loyalty at all. It's just strictly business. So it's like running backs is looking like one of the worst positions to ever be in to come into the league with at this point. Because it's not going to change. I don't see nothing changing. Like you said a couple of weeks ago, unless somebody just wins a Super Bowl off strictly being one of the best rushing teams in the league. And that's probably not going to happen.
I think the only other reasonable way for this to change, you argue how reasonable it is. A team of the top running backs is going to have to make this change.
Yeah.
You're going to need the top 5 or 6 running backs in the league to hold out or take a stand of we're not going to do something until this is changed.
But even
I can't imagine putting myself out there to do that because you're risking yourself. But if you don't, there's no reason for it to change because like you said, it's not a lack of production from them.
Yeah.
There's nothing that running back can do better to be like, see, I'm worth it now.
Yep.
The position got devalued because too many people were doing it good. Yeah. Like we can find somebody else to maybe not be as good as you, Jonathan Taylor, but we can find a 4th round guy that can be really good and we'll deal with that.
Somebody
so I don't know how you change that.
I think it was Colin Cowherd here brought up, who was he talking about? He's talking about Austin Eckler. He's like, it's funny that Eckler was in these running back meetings talking about money and shit when legitimately he's probably like one of the main reasons in the past few years why this is the way it is. Because they had Melvin Gordon, gave him all that money. He got hurt. Eckler comes in and he's one of the best running backs.
Takes over.
All right, the gate. It's like, he's really one of the reasons why this is happening. So for him to be in the running back meetings with it, it's like, dog, like, this is part of the problem. Like, no fault to him because he's doing what he's supposed to do coming in and playing
he was too good at his job.
Yeah, no fault to him. He did what he's supposed to do and excelled. So it's just like, but that's why they're not going to play guys no more because we've seen it happen at least every season for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Every time it happens. And just the same way.
Think about any other job.
Yeah.
Take my job.
Yeah.
They pay me a decent amount right now. If I get fired or I quit and they replace me with somebody making minimum wage and they can do my job just as well as I did.
It's a win.
Why the fuck are we ever paying the salary that I make right now when we can get somebody cheap? That's just part of the business stuff. So
it's business, man.
Tough out here for Jonathan Taylor as all of this stuff is going on about running backs not getting paid to demand a trade. He's got the least leverage probably of all time. It'll be very interesting. Interesting to see how that plays out.
That happened. And then after that shit last week, Saquon took some money. He took a new contract.
$900,000.
That's crazy.
Bro.
It's like, what can you do?
The franchise tag was 10.1. He was like, nah, I'm not signing it.
And this is a team that's literally like built around him. Like he's like the number one piece on his team.
Yep.
And still was treated like an afterthought.
And you gotta pray coming into this season that the top 5 paid guys this year ball out.
Yeah.
Because if they suck, it's just going even more down. Like, nope, never again.
That shit is nuts.
Yeah.
Sad story.
Wild story. But once I got all that background, I was like, damn, this is getting messy fast.
It's getting real messy.
For Indy.
Yeah. But, speaking of running backs, another guy that they've thrown off the wagon, the boy Zeke.
Oh, yeah.
Supposed to come for a little trial with the Pats. Let's say, I ain't mad at it. I think I said it over the weekend. Like, I wouldn't be mad at picking up Zeke. Of course, you're going to get him for the cheap because all running backs are cheap now. So it's like, so you ain't got to pay him much. I wouldn't mind having him in the rotation because I think he's still a good player.
Yeah, no, if I were you, if he was visiting with the Panthers, everything you just said, he's past the point of his career where he's going to get top dollar, so you're not going to waste a bunch of money. I don't think he's like completely done at this point. Yeah. So if you can bring him in to be one of the 2-headed monsters in your backfield, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Wouldn't be bad. But it's rough out here for these running backs, man.
It is.
Rough. Oh, shout out, speaking of running backs.
Relatively rough.
I want to give a big shout out to my boy, Sony Michel.
I saw that, dude.
Announced his retirement the other day.
It's like 25 years old.
Young guy.
That's crazy.
He said, I'm going to get the fuck up out of here now. I see where this shit heading, and y'all ain't going to pay me no more. If they ain't getting paid, I know I ain't getting paid.
Yeah, I saw that. That was shocking.
Sony. He had 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Which is weird because he won with us his rookie year, beating the Rams.
He got one with the Rams.
Yeah. And he won one with the
that's
Rams when he got
right.
20 left and went to them. It was funny. And he had scored the only touchdown. That was that Super Bowl. It was like 13-3. He scored the only touchdown in that Super Bowl.
Oh, that's
so
gross.
he's had a pretty good career to only be in here for like, 5-6 seasons or something like that. Pretty decent career. He got 2 rings on 2 different teams.
You're not gonna find a better 5-year career
At all.
I can't imagine.
What's out to him? Hanging it up.
That's interesting.
He said, "Getting the fuck up out of here, man. Shit ain't looking good for us."
No, not at all. NFL is weird, man. You get retirements at that age. Not like it happens constantly, but it's not unheard of. We hear somebody like 27 years old, I'm going to retire. Kuechly was like 29 or some shit.
Yeah, hanging it up.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. All the way around.
Do you know, I wrote down that Herbert re-signed, got a big contract extension.
Big money.
I don't remember anything beyond that. Was it like record setting or anything, or just they just locked him in for 5 years?
He's at the record again, so he's the highest paid, right above. Who was behind them? Who was the last one to get it? Was it Hurts? Hurts or Lamar? One of them.
Hurts or Lamar, yeah.
They both said it, so now he's the third, so he said it again.
Gotcha.
The next will probably be Burrow. I know we're going to probably get into what his injury thing, but Burrow's probably the one that's up next, and he'll probably get a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
So
continue on status quo. The injury looked terrible in that video.
It did.
Just trying to escape the pocket and just collapses or starts hobbling or hopping on one foot.
Yeah. So
it seems like they're saying it's not that big a deal now.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they just did say he'll still be out for several weeks. I don't know how much several is, but it sounds like half a season.
Yeah, I don't know if that means like several weeks from now or from week one.
It sounds like half a season when you say several, but they talking about it like it's not that crazy. Like, but we'll see. I think it'll be fine. But that sucks to start the season.
Yeah, I hope so. He's too good a quarterback to not get to watch play for another full season. I hope that's not the case.
Steelers be getting off, bro. Last 2 or 3 years, like one of the guys in the top QBs and they shit gets fucked up. Yeah. One of them gets fucked up.
You got to beat one. We'll take one of them for you.
Every year. But, hey, shout out to Burrow, man. I'm sure he'll still get his money. He already proven himself in his league.
Yeah, he's going to get paid regardless. But have you been, has seeing these training camp clips get you more excited for football?
Yeah.
I got so hyped this past week. Yeah. It seemed like every day there was something, whether it was just like a little scuffle at somebody's practice or an injury. It's just like, oh, football is here.
Travis Kelce punching the DB on the T. You see that shit?
Yeah, that seems super unnecessary.
Whenever football players get to fighting, you start punching at somebody's helmet. This is always the dumbest thing I think you could possibly do.
Yeah.
He's wearing a helmet.
You're just going to break your hand.
Your hand up.
He's not going to feel anything.
He's going to feel that shit. It's never going to work out good. You try to punch somebody in the helmet.
I didn't think he took like a weird hit or nothing.
It wasn't even that serious.
It was nothing.
Yeah, it wasn't even that serious.
He was mad though. He was
mad. Got to be a better leader. Got to be a better man for the team. He said, I did see that.
I'm like, all right, dog, chill out. You're right, but I don't think you actually believe it.
You ain't Draymond Green. I'm like, chill out. Fucking almost broke your hand trying to hit him.
So maybe that Browns dude was smart. The one that slapped the teammate and took off running.
Oh, yeah.
He open hand slapped him and took off, son.
He did bounce.
That shit was hilarious.
Way bigger than he was. That shit was funny, though.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad to see a linebacker doing that, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. It was funny, but I don't want to see my linebacker running. No, I just don't. Not away from the lineman, son.
That's funny. But yeah, we're going to see the little scuffles in training camp. That's
every year.
Pretty mandatory. It's going to happen. It's hot as hell out there.
Yeah.
People will get frustrated.
Fed up, son.
You run the same dudes all day, every day. It's gonna be a few scuffles. It's part of the football culture a little bit.
Pretty much. I get it. Like logically, I didn't play football, so I was never experienced it.
Bro,
so it does seem weird to me. I'll be honest. Like I'm from the football. From the basketball and baseball team setting, where there's really not like the internal confrontations like that, not ordinarily. So it does feel weird to me to have teammates like outright punching and stuff. But
from my perspective,
it seems to be normal.
Anybody who's played football, those I guess you would call them the training camp years going into the season or whatever. And the end of the summer, it's the hottest part of the summer. You're doing 2-a-days. You're out there for long hours in that heat. run the same dudes every day, you're going to get irritated.
Just
Somebody
hating
going
each
to do
other.
some the smaller shit and you're going to want to fight and push
Yeah.
and scuffle or something.
That
It
makes
just
sense.
happens. It's hot as hell. Y'all all tired and hot. You're going to get irritated. Somebody going to do something you don't like. They're going to hit you in a way you won't really get hit after the whistle or something. You're going to fight. This is going to happen.
That makes
Don't mean
sense.
that you don't fuck with your teammates. You just around sweaty, hot people all day
Yeah.
and tired as hell.
Well, the other
So
thing I
just come
never
with the character.
experienced as a player is the whole dynamic with football being like two separate teams.
Yeah.
There's no other sport where you're playing offense, defense, and like we're a unit, you're a unit. So it's just very different. But
Yeah, it definitely
always funny
adds
to see.
it. Playing on either side. I mean, in high school, you got people that play both sides sometimes, but definitely is like an offense defense type of thing. Because a lot of times, like if you don't play both sides, your best players on defense are competing with the best players on offense. Like that's just what the matchups is going to be. So it's going to be a little intense. That's how you get your team prepared for the season.
Yeah.
Make your players better.
Makes sense. We got a
Seen,
tough sport out here.
What's his name? Sauce Gardner and Wilson was going at it last week.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That clip looked crazy. Like them dudes was battling.
I bet the two of them
They
are
was
wild.
battling in that joint. I was like, oh yeah, that's what you want. They're gonna make each other better.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts, speaking of the Jets, do you have any thoughts on this new version of Aaron Rodgers that we're seeing?
The new version.
The new version where he's all super teammate driven. He took the big old pay cut for the team.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know if you saw the interview either today or yesterday where they asked him about Sean Payton's comments about Hackett in Denver.
Oh yeah.
And he said, "You would keep my coach's name out your mouth."
I did see
Defensive
that.
of the coaches, like he seems to be all in on the Jets.
He's definitely all in. It's reminding me of when Brady went to
Yeah.
the Buccaneers.
You got to
It's
establish
like
yourself with the new
You're
team.
around you get to handpick most of your guys around. You got these young phenom talent on your team.
Yep.
You got to adapt. You probably feel the happiest you've been in a while. Like, what both of those players dealt with being with their respective teams. You won't get a lot of young guys in. Had a bunch of guys coming through. You just trying to battle it out and be the best you can be to get your team in the contention for a championship. And now he's at a team where it's like, oh, it's not really all on my shoulders really no more.
Right.
I can lean on Sauce Gardner to make an interception. I can lean on Greg Wilson to make a play. Like, he seems happy. I think that's what it all comes down to. He's not frustrated with his organization, so to speak. So I think that's where the change is.
I
So
like
he's bought in.
I like seeing a little different side of Rodgers. I think he took a pretty bad rap here the last couple of years, partially for narrative, partially because he says things that makes people not like him. I don't think he's an easy person to deal with, but I kind of like him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love it too much as a Patriots fan,
Understandable.
but I can give a perspective. He looks pretty happy. He looks pretty comfortable over there.
Agreed.
Don't seem like it's really not too many issues going on right now. But season ain't started yet.
Yeah, life is good for now.
Yeah, season ain't started yet. We'll see how it happens. Y'all take a couple L's or something.
He hasn't actually put that Jets uniform on yet.
Yeah, so it's all for the games. Y'all just a trader cap, but we'll see when the season starts.
Yep. Any other football?
Did I have any other football things? I don't think nothing for the NFL. Colorado's going to the Big 12. Did you hear about that?
I did. I don't pay any attention to realignment anymore. Nobody plays in the conference that I think that they're in. I don't care.
Yeah, it's just whatever. But I think it's all for football. Got some NBA though.
Yeah. Started off with your boy. Started off with your boy, the $300 million man.
Jaylen Brown, highest paid player in the league.
Woo!
It's crazy, right? But being a player that he is, got a lot of hate.
He did.
A lot of people was shocked. He's paying this guy all this money. And I get it. He didn't have a good playoffs recently, losing the ball a lot. But people got to put things in perspective.
Yes, they do.
This happens with if you are a top 15 player in the league and you stay 6 seasons with the team that drafts you, you are up. And you got to do some All-NBA. He made his first All-NBA team this season. Back-to-back All-Stars last 2 years. You're going to be up for a Supermax extension. That's just what it is.
Yep.
Or they can let you go and you can go somewhere else. She stayed. They decided to keep him. So yeah, you're gonna get whatever that number is right now. You're gonna get all that money, and that's just what it is. So he was up. He was due for it. And it's really the choice of the team. Either we're gonna let him go, or we're gonna give him that money. It wasn't all the in between, none of that. It's gonna be that money, or you let him go somewhere else and get money.
Right.
That's all it is.
People don't understand.
Yeah,
people
but
don't
so it's not
understand
about
contracts.
how y'all look at him as a player, or he's not one of the best in the league. That's not what this is based off of. It's just based off it started to keep players in small markets. That's what they initially started, is because people would leave small markets to go to the bigger markets and not staying with the team that drafted them. That's where it started. And then they started implementing, like, making all NBA teams or all-star teams will have you up for a bigger extension and all that. So it's just what it is. He was due. Yes, he's not the best player on that team. Tatum is. Tatum got paid. Next year, he's up to get more than $300 million. So he's going to get his money too. It's all going to work out. We'll be fine.
Yep.
We'll be fine. They all going to get their money.
I can't tell if it's like people don't understand the marketplace, the business, the contracts, the whatever, or if it's just fun to be online and make the memes.
Yeah.
Because
we just look at the list, it's like Jaylen Brown, Steph Curry, and LeBron. It's like, you see those names under him. It's like, why is he getting the most? No, he's just.
Well, it's just fun to say. Oh, you can not have a left hand and make $300 million. Like, that's cute. That's a nice little joke. Get you some likes on Twitter. But everything that you just said, contracts are set up. Whoever's up next is going to be breaking the new market. And it'll continue to happen over and over. And if you look at the top 5 guys paid in the NBA this year, I think Jokic is probably the only one that's a top 10 player. The top 4 or 5 guys were just the ones that were up for the next renewal. And no disrespect to Beal, but it's Beal, it's Jaylen Brown. There's a couple other guys that just got massive contracts.
Guys that stayed with their teams that drafted them, they was just up.
Yep.
And if you show improve and you make all-star and all NBA teams, there's even more reason for you to get even more money if you just stay with the team that drafted you. That's all it is. It's just a play on that.
Yep.
So I respect that. I fuck with him. Shout out to JB. Got the bag. I think he's deserving of it. Like I said, people forget Jaylen Brown was drafted before Tatum.
Yeah.
So he was a part of that build up to this team that we got right now. We got Porzingis. We're looking championship ready again as we have the past 3 seasons.
I forgot you got Porzingis.
Yeah, so we'll be fine. We did what we're supposed to do. I don't think we should let JB go. I think if we got swept by the Heat, it probably would look differently. But the fact that we took him to 7, Missoula's getting another full season to get his shit together. Bring the whole squad back. Let's do it again. These guys still young. There's no need to break up the crew yet.
Well, it's always easy to say this person doesn't deserve X amount of money.
Right.
It's a lot harder to figure out who takes his place then.
Exactly.
If you're going to let him walk, who do you bring in that you're not breaking the bank for that's going to be as good or better than Jaylen Brown? There's not that many guys that could fill that role that are going to be in a price range that would be much different. Who cares if you give him $300?
He was brought up to be traded. It's because KD and Kawhi was available. There's no players that are that caliber available right now, so we're just going to keep JB. We'll be fine.
Yep, I thought it was a logical decision. Had to be made.
Yep, shout out to him. Do your thing.
You mentioned Dame, though. Speaking of Dame, I'm fucking happy the NBA finally spoke up.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, use your adult voice. Tell them we're not doing that shit. And I also don't think for a second that Dame would have got traded to a team and just said, I'm not playing basketball anymore.
Right.
I think he was doing his best. Him and his agent were doing the best that they could to leverage themselves, position themselves to try to get to where he wants to go. But I fully think even if that is your own internal game plan, you can't just have players saying, I'm only going to play here. Everybody else, don't trade for me. I'm not going to play for you. That's terrible for the league.
Yeah, he was talking a lot. You can't do that, bro.
Nah.
You got to chill. You got to chill.
I think he's in a weird spot now because as far as getting out of Portland, it's in his best interest to continue to make it known that he wants out. But I think he's reached a point where fans in general are really kind of tired of this story. of the past 2 years of when the fans were saying he needed to go and he didn't.
Yeah.
And now he's trying to leave. I think a lot of people are upset or tired of it. And I think like the narrative of him as a player is changing when like he hasn't changed. You know what I'm saying? Like he is the dude that me and you both love as the player Dame. And I think he's a good dude. But I think the way that this has played out the last 2 years, it's left a little bit of a sour taste in people's mouth. Yeah. And until he gets traded, it's going to be a really weird spot for him to be in.
Yeah, even like the way this season ended, like how he like sat out for the last few games of the regular season on some like letting the young guys play on some like, and people try to make a big deal. Oh, he's just giving up on the team. It's like, nah, dog, like Dame has said verbatim out his mouth mad times, y'all know why I'm here. Right. If we ain't playing for a championship,
or nothing,
why am I going out there? Why? I don't want to be there. Yep. Let the young guys get their run. I go into my off season.
Plus, that's what the team wanted him to do.
Yeah,
that wasn't like he was like, "Nah, I'm not playing the last 5 games." No, his team is like, "We need to see what we got."
Exactly. He made it very clear he wants to compete for championships.
Yeah,
he's been close, but this season was a down slope for him again. So now he's like, all right, it's about that time.
Yeah.
About that time to make that move. Been in the league about a decade now. Do what you got to do.
I just hope it happens soon. I'd like to see him keep the whatever he's built up for himself. I want to keep all that and not have people turning on him because this played out funny.
Well, yeah.
But
yeah.
What else we got?
I gotta put some more shit. What else did I write down? I think that's it for. We ain't talking about Ramsey. Ramsey injury too. That's a little quick hitter.
How long is he out for?
I think it was like 7 weeks. It was like, I don't know if it's 7.
Who's he play for now?
Dolphins.
That's right.
Dolphins now. Where was that shit at? 6-time Pro Bowler will undergo knee surgery and expected to miss the start of the regular season with the injury, but it suffered during. It said it was his ACL was intact, but he's having surgery on it. So I don't know. They don't say how long he's gonna be out though.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's
part of those coming back to training camp stories. We're gonna find out a lot of, at least another handful of big players that get injured in the next couple of weeks. Unfortunately.
Yep. I was expecting 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8.
Sheesh. That's not. Hey, I ain't mad at you. The Dolphins, they already fucking stacked.
Yeah, you can use.
You still got Xavier Howard. Y'all be all right. What's going on?
I don't know how much there is to say here, but
what you got?
You know, I'm a hardened hater.
Hardened hater.
I'm a hardened hater.
I know.
I don't know what the conversation was, what was asked, or why he said it, but T-Mac being interviewed somewhere said that makes 0 sense to me. James has probably played with more Hall of Famers than anybody in the NBA, and he doesn't have a ring to show for it. It's got to be something deeper than what you know. Get over it, man. Oh, that was in regards to him asking for a trade. Any thoughts on T-Mac joining the band of fans that says there's got to be more of a problem than just these teams aren't building right? Or you think he's just kind of like in that older era where he's like, yo, shut the fuck up?
I think he's deserving of those critiques because he has been on some great teams in his career. He's had MVP seasons, just hasn't been able to get it done in the playoffs. So he's deserving of some of it. But at the same time, it's like people be acting like championships is like something that you can just go pick up at the store, yo. Like, I don't think people understand, like, 7-game series is 3 or 4 of them. You have to win 4 best out of 7 series to win a championship when you make the playoff. So much shit has to go right for it to go right. You know what I'm saying? It's like people don't put that into the equation. They just look at it, oh, he played sorry and da-da-da-da-da. Like, that year they had Chris Paul, they was giving the Warriors fits. Like, they was on their ass, and they damn sure could have won that series and went to the championship series. But it was like Chris Paul got hurt, and this shit got thrown all the way off again. So it's just like you can't put. He deserves criticism because he is a star player on most of the teams he's been on. So he's gonna get that critique. But at the same time, like, dog, they had to deal with the Warriors.
Do you think any differently of it coming from T-Mac though? Because he's not the guy sitting on the couch that doesn't understand how difficult it is. He's notorious for not having any playoff success as well.
Yeah.
I look at him saying that as possibly coming from the place of
that he was in that
I
position.
had similar criticisms to you in that I didn't win in the postseason and was considered a great player, but I wasn't trying to do what you're doing and like kind of looking down on it. Do you think that's the case?
I think he's probably frowning at the team hopping he's doing.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Which, yeah, I can see you frowning on that, but, you know, T-Mac came up in a different era. Players weren't hopping around like that as much.
They couldn't.
Yeah, they couldn't. You couldn't make those type of moves. I'm sure if they could, they would have.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to say that I didn't do it that way when it wasn't an option.
The times was different, but T-Mac, like, you had some good teams there too when in your height, in your prime of your career, and you couldn't get it done.
Yeah,
it's hard to get chips, bro.
Yeah.
It shit is a hard thing to do. I know we've seen Warriors rack them up and LeBron rack them up, but those are anomalies. There's a reason.
That kind of speaks to what you're saying, though.
What's that?
How hard it is. Just because those guys racked it up, that means everybody else in the league
that's
didn't
not how
get
it should go. You
championships.
just got to be lucky to get one, let alone 4 or 5 of them. Like
all the other guys for the past 10 years have had to deal with Steph and LeBron taking all the championships.
Yeah. So it wasn't just Harden losing; it was everybody else that ain't got no rings losing to them as well. So
yeah,
you know, just got to be happy if you can get you one, let alone going on a 3-year or 4-year run. It just don't happen that often.
Nah, I think you're right. I saw some Harden hate. I was like, ooh, what's that?
Speaking of Harden, I don't know if you noticed in like the sports podcast realm, but especially in basketball specifically, there's been a large growing of middle of the pack, mid range kind of good players getting some wild takes off. At the height of that right now is Jeff Teague.
I haven't even seen all of them. I've just seen him continuously been in my feed for the last week.
His storytelling is hilarious, and it's funny to see the perspective of the non-superstar on the team, the role player on the team, and how they viewed things that was going on the teams that they was put. So his stories is fire. But one of the things he was talking about, he had a take on saying like, I don't know how they ended up talking about Harden and D-Wade, but he said he would take Harden over a D-Wade. And I thought it was an interesting thing. He didn't really break it down too much, but just saying like how much Harden could do for our offense and carry our offense. He felt like it'd be better. And I'm like, I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that take. I know people propose D-Wade is one of the greatest shooting guards of all time, and I get that. But, you know, same thing like Paul Pierce was saying, like, give one of the people in his time a Shaq or LeBron and Chris Bosh and see what they do with it. You could probably get the same outcome. So I wouldn't be mad at that. Hey, I like Harden.
I'm not mad at it. That's his opinion. That's his opinion.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair like comparison as far as if he didn't have those guys. Same conversation we just had about Paul Pierce and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think you can take away some of the championships that he won and say, you know, just set those aside for a second. His defense, though, like he's one of the best guard defenders that I could think of. I think he regularly was like the block shot leader for guards and stuff like that. So I have a hard time seeing how he could be ranked over Harden, but I did see that pop up, and I like hearing from those guys more than the superstars.
Yeah, you feel like they keep it a little bit more honest.
It's a little bit more honest, and it's more like it's not really a perspective I can understand. Not like I made it to Jeff Teague's level,
right?
But you can relate a little bit more towards the guy that was like trying to be a part of the team, and not the guy that averaged 35 points a game
and just hating on the bench. Text like that.
Yeah, it's like oh, you're kind of like a normal human,
real person. Like you're gonna be hating because you ain't playing right now. Like it makes sense,
right?
But it's weird. But there is a downside to it too, because it is people like. I don't know if you've seen, I think it's called Gil's World, Gilbert Arenas show, where he got Rashard McCants and I think Kenyon Martin be on there and somebody else. What's his name? Brandon Jennings.
I've seen the clips. Bro. I'm not a fan of Gilbert personally, so I don't watch. He is funny.
I like some of the takes he said, but Rashard McCants, UNC, I fuck with you, Rashard McCants.
Your
career was not great at all in the NBA.
He's a bust.
To be talking the way you be talking on this show. It's like, we got some realization, like, Jeff Teague is being real about his position in the NBA where he was. He ain't trying to sell it even more than Wells or have any hot takes downgrading people. But Sean McCann's be going crazy a little bit.
Yeah, no, I've seen him with many, many bad takes.
I'd be like,
and I just remember him so much from college.
Yeah, he was
that was when I was in North Carolina for sure. So like I was watching UNC like crazy, and he was that dude.
He was the dude.
Felton was fire. Charmaine was fire. They had the whole team.
I love that squad.
Jawad Williams, that squad was loaded. But McCants was that guy.
Squads of UNC.
Yeah, well, that was one of the best teams.
They was nice.
They were so stacked. I think they that was Marvin Williams too.
Yep.
I think they had 3 guys in the top 10 or some shit.
Yeah, they
McCants, Felton, and Marvin Williams.
Oh yeah, Mark Williams. Yeah, May fell down, but none of them had good.
Nobody.
I think Marvin Williams was in the league the longest out of all of them.
You think over Felton?
Oh yeah, fuck.
I think Felton probably had the longest career, but none of them turned into superstars.
No, at all. Nowhere close. But
Yeah. So when you hear those guys giving hot takes, it's like, all right, this is not as cool. When you hear guys like, Teague is a good one. Shumpert has made a career now out of doing it.
Chump's
just
good.
telling really good stories about how the team evolved, and also they knew their part within the team.
Yeah,
I like listening to those people.
Those are good stories.
Yeah,
because they ain't like filtering nothing. They really telling you how they felt. Or when LeBron told me this, you talking to me like I was a bitch or something. Like how they felt in these real moments and playoff moments and shit on the teams they was in. It's dope. It's dope to hear those perspectives.
It is.
Give you a different look at things because you got your Paul Georges out here, Draymond's.
Yeah.
Guys that, supposed to feel how they feel about certain stuff. And some of them be having some bad takes too. But,
some very bad takes.
But it's like, it's good to hear that perspective. I ain't mad at it.
Yeah, I don't watch any of the shows, but I do see a lot of clips from NBA podcasts now that seem to be getting traction. There's a lot of entertaining stuff out there.
Yes, indeed. Only in the NBA, though. Ain't no NFL players stepping out there unless they out the league already.
Yeah. The busting with the boys are pretty out of the league at this point, but they were the only active ones I was aware of. Did you have anything? So I didn't watch the fight, but I didn't know if you wanted to talk about the fight Saturday night. Oh
yeah, I ain't a big fight or boxing MMA guy or whatever, but this is a pretty big fight. Crawford.
I didn't know him.
You know about Crawford?
No, that's not a name I'm even familiar with. For whatever reason, Errol Spence is a name that I knew.
Errol Spence, he's probably more popular.
I didn't know about Crawford at all, and everything that I've seen post fight, people are talking about him like he's the dude.
Yeah,
is that just because of this fight Saturday, or has he been one and I just didn't know about him?
He's been that dude.
Okay,
because he already had a title belt in a lower weight class, but now he's the first to have 2 belts in 2 weight classes by being Spence. So there was like a pretty big deal. It's like record breaking or some shit like that.
Gotcha.
So now he's really the man. It's like he's doing some shit that ain't really been done before. People don't hold 2 belts in 2 different weight classes. Like that's just something that doesn't happen. So
they just recently started letting you do that in the UFC. You couldn't even do it before.
Yeah. So that's crazy for him to do that. And Errol Spence was highly favored to win this fight.
Oh, okay.
So him beating him too is like, damn, like. Yeah, he ain't just like beat him. Like
I was gonna say,
he whooped his ass the whole fight.
Yeah, I heard it was a beat down.
Like he was whooping his ass. I came in and started watching. I think it was like round 6 or 7. I think he knocked him. They called it a knockout round 9 or something. But he was doing whatever he wanted to him. Like Errol Spence thing is he's a great defensive boxer. He has a lot of power, so to speak. So they were saying like they don't think Crawford would ever be able to touch him. But he was touching him whenever he wanted to. Like, he was sticking him. You seen his face. His face is crazy. Crawford looked like he ain't have a scratch on his shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he beat the brakes off that man, and that shit was kind of crazy. But I fuck with Crawford. He's solid. I like a lot of the clips I ain't seen of him. But
is he the one that came out to M, or was it the loser?
He came out to him.
Okay.
Crawford came out to him.
I saw that clip.
I thought that was pretty dope, too. But yeah.
It is cool. Fight. I don't know if I don't want any songs with lose in the title being the joints that I come out to. I know it's a get hype song and like I'm about to take over, but I don't want to hear lose yourself when I'm about to go fight.
He had to do.
Yep.
Bang against the wall. But yeah, he beat the brakes off that man. That shit was like Like they had to call the fight. Like that's how many licks he was taking to the face.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, dog, this is over. You just beating the fuck out of this dude. It got bad, but it was a good fight. It was good to see.
I like seeing all the reaction after the fights. I doubt I'll ever get into boxing, but whenever there's a big fight, it's just dope to see everybody going off on Twitter about whatever is going on.
Hell yeah.
You got anything else?
Do I have anything else?
I don't think I had any other topics.
Did you see that Elliott Wilson and Drake had a little back and forth?
Yeah, I did. I read about it when it happened, but I don't really remember exactly what the details were. Elliott I think he said this before, but he's been brought up again that Drake doesn't do black interviews after he sat with that white girl.
Yeah, white girl.
That terrible interview.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of funny. Actually, I watched it. It was pretty funny. It's awkward as hell.
Every clip I see, I don't get it. I mean, I get what they're going for, but I haven't thought the clips were funny.
That's a new podcast wave now, the awkward conversations having with people, whatever. But they call her an industry plant because she's only had like 5 episodes in, and she had Drake, Yachty. I think Mark Cuban is on the next one. She's getting she's gonna get like A-list stars, and she just started the podcast.
You know anything about her?
They said she was like big on TikTok, like making TikToks.
All right, well that kind of makes sense.
And now she started a podcast, and she has every A-list star you can think of coming on the podcast. It's odd, very odd, out of nowhere.
It is odd, but everybody just goes wherever the views are now.
That's true.
If you show any amount of high views, it seems like people will tune in. I don't know. I don't hate those awkward conversation podcasts. The only one that I pay any attention to is from Barstool, and they're usually like 3-minute videos, 4-minute videos. I can't imagine watching a long form pod. I like,
which I think is kind of what she's. I don't know. I don't want to say stealing, but the lane she is. Funny Marco, you heard him? He has like a podcast where he has these same type of conversations with people, and he plays a little prank on them or whatever. She had him on her show too.
I think I know who you're talking about.
He's one of the first guests she had. So I was like, oh, I see what you're doing. You're trying to like ease people into what you're going to be doing with this podcast by getting him who does this pretty frequently. But so I get it a little bit.
So I don't know I've been curious about who was first. I found out about him after.
He was first.
Well, not before the girl. I know the girl is really recent. He's been doing it for a while. But that Barstool one that I watched, the dude that had Kodak on.
Oh, yeah. They do it too.
I don't know if that was the first one.
They might be
or
first.
If that was just the first one I knew about. Because some black content doesn't creep over to me on Black Twitter until late. So I don't know if his was first, but those are the only 2 that I would watch because they're short.
Before he had podcasts, he was doing it like on some like walk up on people type shit.
Okay,
he would do it with like random people.
Got you.
And then he made a podcast and started bringing like rappers and celebrities on to do it.
I think that field needs to be small though.
It does.
I can't have 17 people doing those. Keep it to 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that shit don't work with it. Everybody can't do that dry humor shit.
Nah, not the driest.
Yeah, everybody can't do it. But I ain't mad at it. But keep it, like you said, keep it to a minimum.
Yeah, this can't be the norm.
Because that can get a little crazy. But yeah, they had, what was we talking about? We was talking about Elliott and Drake.
Yes.
Elliott Wilson has been on a tear last few months. He's really been getting a lot of wild shit off. He's been on Drake's neck a little bit too. I think the recent one was the one that Drake responded to about him not coming on, hip hop podcasts and having real interviews and going to these things where he ain't really answering nothing. But it's like, out of anybody to have this take of this feeling, it shouldn't be you, Elliott.
Why is that?
Because the last real interview that Drake did was with Elliott and B-Dot.
Yeah.
At Drake's house. He invited you to his home to have an hour and a half, 2-hour interview. You can't be the one that's mad at this because you're the one that he came to already.
Do you have any thoughts on the complaint, though?
I get it.
I find your perspective interesting because to me, this doesn't matter.
Right.
But I understand Elliott's perspective. Do you look at it weird that Drake doesn't seem to mess with any of the big hip hop community journalists?
I don't look at it weird because he has.
Okay.
He's done those interviews before. He has not a lot of them, but when you're at the level of him, you don't do a lot of interviews. You're going to do a one-off every couple few years or something like that. And he's done that. So now in this like social media and people doing these different type of podcasts, funny things going on, he's trying to do shit to have fun with it. So going on Barbie's podcast and doing that, or doing the rap radar, the on the radar freestyle with Central C, like those are small hubs. They get a lot of traction, so to speak, but it's like Drake can go and do any of those things that he wants to do now because he's Drake. Everybody's going to invite him in to do it. So I ain't mad at it. I think he's just doing what he wants to do. He's obviously having fun with this shit at this point. You can see with that, the rollout he did with 21, all the promos they was doing with that. He's having fun with this shit. He's not trying to, because even when people do these like serious conversations, like you're still not gonna get the answers that you want.
Sure.
Like it's gonna be doctored up.
Sure.
They're gonna cut out the stuff that he don't want you to put out. It's gonna be a whole bunch of like his whole team got to go through it and see. You're not gonna be able to ask any question you want to ask him. He's not gonna do that, even if he does do those interviews. So you're not gonna get that anyway. Like even the interview he did with Elliot, it wasn't like crazy. He wasn't saying any crazy takes. I mean, there was some good parts in there where he talked about Pusha and beefs and stuff like that, but he ain't deep dive into nothing. He ain't give you no real clickbaity type of stuff to say. It was just a regular interview. So maybe he's just trying to have fun. So I ain't mad at it. I don't see it on some like, oh, he just disregarding the hip hop platforms, just that there, because he might do a Drink Champs one day. I could see him doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like
I could. I think it's probably a mix of both of these. I would take. I think I think Drake is always strategic.
Yeah.
So I do think his outlook is, these people are going to support me regardless.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that he's done best is continue to try to find whatever the newest wave is and bring those people on.
He's a master at it.
I'm not going to bring on new fans from the Rap Radar podcast.
Exactly.
But if I go sit and talk to this dumb little girl and let her ask me dry questions, there's a bunch of little girls that like this that are going to hop on my shit now. So I think he's always marketing himself, but I can understand if you're a hip hop journalist, we're the ones that have covered you and hung on to every single thing you put out and promote you and do all this stuff, and you don't show us love. But
exactly.
At the same time, it is weird when you've had an interview already to be like, how come y'all don't fuck with us?
He didn't go to nobody else but y'all. You can't be the one saying this. Maybe Nori could have said it, or Joe, or somebody like that, but come on.
Agreed. Well, we're running short on time, so we got a couple samples coming for you. If you're on YouTube, we appreciate you listening. We'll be back next week. If you're on the audio, stay tuned. We got samples coming right now.
Yeah, peace.
What you got for us, Moss?
All right, this week I have a sample from the legend, Mr. Marvin Gaye.